Guys, it's that time again. I'm so excited. I've got some personalized book recommendations from a book expert. So I basically signed up to this thing called TBR, which stands for Tailored Book Recommendations. And they send you, after you've filled in loads of forms and explained what kind of books you're into, a book expert will send you, they call it a carrier pigeon, with your book recommendations every few months. And I did it one time and then I forgot to cancel it. So then I did it another time and then I forgot to cancel it. And then I did it another time and then I thought, actually, you know what? I quite like this. So I just let it keep running. And so every few months I get sent some new recommendations, and it's that time, it's my time of the month to receive some book recommendations. So let's open my letter and see which books they have recommended to me. Hi Jack, thanks again for trusting us with your bookshelves. It's officially summer reading season and I've got 3 books to recommend you that I think would make perfect travel companions for any trips you've got coming up. I hope they help you find a new favorite. This is really fun because I'm actually going to LA. LA, baby. Every time I say LA, I have to do it like this. Going to LA. I might vlog even while I'm on that trip. I'm going on a book tour with my friend Dustin. He wrote this amazing book called You've Reached Sam, and it is finally, after nearly 3 years, coming out in paperback. And so we did an event in Brooklyn last week, and then we have an event in LA on Thursday of this week, and I'm very, very excited about it. So I am actually going on a little trip. We're gonna be spending some time by the beach, and so I will be looking for some things to read on that trip. And so maybe these will be the perfect travel companions, as my bookish bestie has recommended to me. So let's see. Number 1 is You Dreamed of Empires. This is by Alvaro Enrique and Natasha Wimmer. Ooh, interesting that it's 2 authors. I'm trying to work out if one of those is the translator. Let me Google it. Yeah, okay, so Natasha Wimmer is the translator. I think she's translated it from Spanish. So this is the description. This fascinating book came to mind because you love historical fiction and want to read more translated literature. This is a story about colonialism, clashing cultures, and a thirst for conquest. Alvaro Enrique takes a literary, trippy look at a moment in 1519, before the fall of the Aztec Empire, when conquistador, what does that mean? Conquistador. I love that word. Conquistador. It means a conqueror, especially one of the Spanish conquerors of Mexico and Peru in the 16th century. Okay. So when conquistador Hernan Cortez arrives in... There's a lot of words here that I don't know how to pronounce. Oh no!
Tenochtitlan.
Oh, that's not at all what I was saying. Tenochtitlan. Okay, so let's try this again. Alvaro Enrique takes a literary, trippy look at a moment in 1519 before the fall of the Aztec Empire, when conquistador Hernan Cortez arrives in Tenochtitlan for a meeting with Emperor Moctezuma, who liberally used hallucinogens to better communicate with the gods. Okay, sounds like this emperor is going to be a character. I'm very excited about that. Cortez's journey was intended to clear pathways for slave traders, but he and his men grew obsessed with stealing land and grand adventures. But their visit with Moctezuma is far more than what they expected. It's an inventive, unusual story with a perspective on real history I think you'll appreciate. I think you are right. That sounds so good. A good opportunity for me to... I don't know enough about the Aztec Empire, so it's going to fill the gap in my knowledge on that era, I suppose. You Dreamed of Empires sounds really cool. Now, before I tell you about the next 2 books, I just wanted to let you know that today's video is very, very kindly brought to you by Listening.com. And listening is excellent because imagine if you could turn any document, whether that's an academic paper, an essay, a recipe even, turn any of those things into an audio file and then listen to it. That is what Listening.com can do for you. So when you're cooking dinner, when you're at the gym, when you're out for a walk or a run even, if you're feeling fancy, you can listen to those things as audio. And what's really great about this is, firstly, if there are words like these that you don't know, words that you don't know how to pronounce, like I could get listening.com to read this out to me, for example, and then I would never have to worry that I'm reading words and not actually knowing how to pronounce them out loud when it comes to trying to say them to you on camera. There you go. There's a good use for listening.com. There's also the option to make notes. So you just press in the bottom corner plus note, and then it will take a section from the document and make a note on that thing. So really, really useful for research. I wish I had this when I used to work as a book researcher, but it is very useful when I am creating my YouTube videos, like my video essays, that kind of thing. So I love listening.com. The link to download it will be down below in the description box. And with my link, you actually get an extra free week. So check it out. I don't know if you can hear this, but there's like a cat making an insane noise on the other side of the fence right now. It sounds like it might be giving birth. That's the only way I can describe the sound that I'm currently hearing. But anyway, I've just seen that the next two books are both books that I own but haven't yet read. So this is really interesting because these are books that I picked out for myself. So this book... Oh, that cat's not giving birth. Is it okay? Is it being attacked? Okay. It's all quiet on the Western Front right now, so I don't know what went down the other side of that fence, but I can assure you it probably was not pretty. But that cat is none of my business. So anyways, these are two books that I picked out for myself, so I feel like my book expert knows me very well at this point. We have hive mind, we're thinking at the same time. So the first of those books is Butter by Asako Yuzuki. This has been huge in Japan, and if you go into any bookstore right now, you will see tons of copies of it. Every bookstore is promoting this book because apparently it is absolutely brilliant. My book expert said, I don't see a ton of mysteries/thrillers on your Goodreads shelves, but since you're looking to expand your horizons, there's no time like the present for this edge-of-your-seat, best-selling Japanese suspense novel. Everyone in Japan has heard about gourmet chef Minako Kaji, who's been imprisoned for using her food to poison lonely businessmen. Kaji refuses to speak to anyone about her supposed crimes until a low-ranking magazine reporter piques her interest by asking for her beef stew recipe. As they begin to discuss food, the reporter finds a way in, but also realizes she and Kaji have more in common than she expected. It's a deliciously twisty book with two dynamic protagonists. Okay. I thought this book sounded really good. I actually bought it during my main channel video where I bought books I saw strangers buying in bookstores. So I actually bought this because someone else was buying it, because someone else thought it sounded good. But you know me, I love a Japanese book. I don't read a massive amount of mysteries and thrillers like her name is Susie, like my book expert Susie pointed out. Mysteries and thrillers really are not my area of expertise. They're also not something I really gravitate towards that much, but that's not to say I'm against them. It's just I don't love like action books all the time, but then I'm all up for a little mystery moment. I feel like maybe because when I was younger I used to read a lot of mystery books like Agatha Christie, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, different people like that. Enid Blyton to an extent, I loved those books. I loved a little mystery. So I guess as I got older, I started to read different types of books. I guess I just gravitated away from mystery. But that's not to say that I wouldn't enjoy it now. So that is Butter by Asako Yuzuki. Sounds great. Okay. And then the final book is actually right behind me. Maybe you can even see it. This one right here, this is Martyr. I'm not sure to what extent the fisheye lens is fisheyeing. I actually hope it's not fisheyeing too much because I just realized my credit card is right there. Okay, editing jack, we might have to blur that. But maybe you can see this. So this is Martyr. This is by Kaveh Akbar. While this book is set in the US, it's got a fascinating perspective on world events. And if I'm being honest, I'm just completely obsessed with how brilliantly written and gripping it is. And based on some of your other favorites, I think you'll feel the same way. Cyrus, a newly sober Iranian-American young man whose mother died in a senseless act of violence when he was a child, has become obsessed with death. More specifically, he's become obsessed with martyrs and what it means to die with purpose for a greater cause. As he digs into the history of martyrdom with the idea of writing a book, Cyrus finds a terminally ill artist living in a Brooklyn museum who might be the unexpected key to better understanding the life of his own mother. Kaveh Akbar writes about heavy subject matter with a sense of whimsy and humor that is really hard to pull off. This book changed my brain chemistry in the best way. Say no more. That sounds incredible. It's also blurbed by Tommy Orange, who I love. He says, Kaveh Akbar is one of my favorite writers ever. John Green, who wrote The Fault in Our Stars, says, Kaveh Akbar's first book is so stunning, so wrenching, and so beautifully written that reading it for the first time, I kept forgetting to breathe. I will carry this story and the people in it with me for the rest of my life. That is high praise. Raven Leilani, another one of my favorite writers, says Kaveh Akbar renders the full spectrum of life and death with great beauty and care. I love that the title also has an exclamation mark in it. Like, martyr, you know? There must be a reason for that. I love this little doodle on here too. And actually the reason I bought this book is because my housemate said he loved it. My housemate was obsessed with this. When he read it, it's described as electrifying, profound, brazen, profane, and often very funny. And it's also by a poet. Kaveh Akbar is a poet primarily. And I love when poets write novels because they're so textured and beautiful. So very, very, very excited about that one. These choices sound stunning. So we have Martyr, Butter, and You Dreamed of Empires. Those are my recommendations from my book expert. They also included all of the covers in there as well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope that you guys have a fun week planned. Let me know if you would like me to vlog my little trip to LA. I haven't vlogged in the longest time, but kind of in a vlogging mood. This is the other book I'm taking with me on that trip. It's called In Tongues by Thomas Grattan. I just started it, but I'm only hardly any way through it, 24 pages. So really just getting to grips with it. It didn't like pull me in immediately, but I do think it's got potential. So this could be my LA reading list. We'll see. I think, yeah, I might take this one with me. Sit on the beach, going to Santa Monica, and I got some fun plans. So I think that could be fun to take you along with me. But anyway, for now, thank you for watching. All the best. Stay in touch. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, my main channel, etc. And I'll see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.